Hey, Russ. How are
Hi,
you this
Olivia.
morning? We've had a few technical difficulties. We've been working on trying to get Facebook to go live for an hour, and it still isn't working. So we decided we're just going to record this interview. And for those of you who are watching, put your comments below and questions below, and Russ will come back and answer them, and we can get questions answered just after the fact, if that's okay. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, I'm really excited for you guys to have the opportunity to meet Russ. He was one of the first people that I pulled into this project, like literally the second person. So he jumped in and made it so that I felt more confident about moving forward with it. And so let's talk, Russ. So let's tell everybody a little bit about how we know each other, and that is through my dad, right? You guys have worked together for a while. So tell us about your professional background and kind of, how you came to know me, I guess, and and how you came to be part of the project, in your words.
Well, I worked at Bear Mental Health in Logan, Utah for 37 years. And, 30 years. And her dad has worked with me there for most of that time, Kevin. And so I think your dad and you were talking, and he suggested you speak to me. And I remember the line I said, doing family history is the best way to get the spirit. And I think I was in after that.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, we knew you as soon as you told us you liked family history already, it was like, yes. So yeah, no, that's awesome. So what made you decide that it was a good idea to join the team? Like what made you excited about this project?
Well, I've had these positive experiences, but I should say it's gotten even better since I started doing the challenge a few days before it officially started. Because I realized something. I used to do family history every week or two, and I try to do it for 4 hours or 6 hours, and it was a bit of a chore. And so I don't think I looked forward to doing it. But, if you're going to do it every day, I'm not going to spend that much time on it. So I realized spending a half an hour is easy, and it's just such a positive feeling, and I do it every day. And so I'm doing every morning, I have prayer, scripture study, and do family history. It's like my routine. I'm going to do it the rest of my life because it's a great way to start the day.
Well, and I love that.
For this experiment, because it's been an experiment for me too.
And I loved that because exactly it was an experiment for you too. When I got your first message that said, "Hey, I'm loving this. I'm doing this different now," and I was like, "Yes, that's a success. That's what I hope a lot of people get out of this." It's like that shift in mindset of like family history being more of something I can do in a few minutes daily instead of like hours and hours in one day. So I love that you've had that experience. That made me really happy when I got that message from you. So let's see, what are some of the things that you kind of shared what you're doing with the experiment, but are you, what are kind of some of the specific things you've done, like some of the easy, fun, maybe, just like daily, quicker things that you're starting to do now?
Well, I am just doing my family history research, but sometimes it's a matter of just checking on I'm tending to do one person at a time. Mm-hmm. So I just go in and check the records. And for those who aren't that experienced, it's pretty easy because you can use not only family search, but ancestry.com, and you just get in there and plug in the information and all sorts of things pop up. So it's just getting your feet wet and doing it. If you do it a few times, I think people get way more comfortable. So it's having the courage to just get involved, get your feet wet.
I like that too, because that's true. I think a lot of people come to this experiment thinking like, oh, I don't know, I've never, and it seems scary, but that's why we have the plans, because we try to make it as easy. And, have you tried any of the plans at all? Have you looked over those? Have you tried any of the activities from those?
No, I have all this. I probably should have, but I just have my own project that I'm working on trying to get.
Which is perfect. Which I love that, because to me it kind of speaks to that anyone can do it, anyone at any level. Like if you're a beginner and you need hand holding, that's what the plans are for. But if you're like, no, I've got this family that I'm trying to find and discover, and then it works perfect because you can just follow your own plan, but just do it in a different way. So that's great. Yeah. That speaks to that. So tell us a little bit about the psychological side of this. What your thoughts are on like how we're measuring it, and just just open up to us about that a little bit.
Well, so we're just measuring on a 1 to 10 scale to see if people's mood improves. We don't know what kind of results we're going to get. And I should say in psychological experiments, there's so many different factors, like your car could blow up during the middle of the experiment and all of a sudden your mood goes down. So stuff happens.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to take a look at that. I think it's a real mood enhancer. I think I shared with you before, Olivia, I have a belief. So we want to do positive activities to get in a good mood. But the trick for most people is staying in a good mood. So we could do some activity or do, family history or do something, scrapbooking, whatever we're doing, getting photos together, and we'll be in a good mood. But can we stay in that good mood? And what ruins our moods generally is negative thinking. It's our reactions to what's happening. Sometimes those reactions are just all within ourselves, that we'll start thinking about something we did wrong 5 years ago, or we'll think about some stock we put money in and it's all gone down, or, so we're very good at creating negative moods. So part of having a balanced life and having peace of mind is learning to deal with negative thoughts. Mm-hmm. So I see this kind of thing. And I really do believe that if you get up and you do, and everyone's different, and maybe you can't do it every day, but prayer, scripture study, and family history are the triple threat. That doing all those three will put you in a good mood. And so we have to learn to have truth in our mind. And because human beings, when things happen, our main difficulty is we try to control everything mentally. Mm-hmm. We don't realize we're doing it. That's why we get so emotional. We think if we're upset that the universe will bend to our will. And so if we recognize that, we then have a chance of using some tools to calm our mood down. One of the best tools is what the Buddhists call radical acceptance, just accepting reality exactly the way it is. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, you get in a car accident and you get a ticket and they say it's your fault and you don't think it was. But maybe you can't fight it, so you say, hey, stuff happens, it was unfair, and I'll work through this. And as soon as we can accept it, we can move on and not waste a lot of energy thinking about it. Or when we get angry at people, we get angry because we think people should act differently, mm-hmm. right? But in reality, people act the way they are. So learning to be accepting of things around us is good. And of course, we want to be positive. We don't want to assume everything's going to go wrong. Yeah, I was watching a movie that's been around for a while. It's with Christopher Robinson. Christopher Robin is the main character, and Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
And he's an adult.
I can't remember what it's called, but yes, I know it. Yes.
So Eeyore was pretty funny because Eeyore thinks everything is horrible and everything's going against him. So we're all like Eeyore sometimes. Mm. So we want to have a good mental game plan so that when we do positive things, we can stay in that good mood. I have a thing I advise people do. I call it practicing PARK.
Okay. PARK,
so
did you say?
It's an acronym, PARK, like park your car.
Okay.
Stands for positive, accepting, relaxed, and kind. So
positive, accepting, relaxed, and kind.
Right.
Okay.
So our goal is to practice PARK every day and to just not let negativity throw us off that. So as soon as you start swaying into the negative, say, all right, what do I need to get back online? Mm-hmm. And the more we practice it, the better we get at it.
No, that makes perfect sense. I love that. So what you're saying is doing family connections with both past and present family is not a cure-all.
But it's a wonderful way to get started.
Great.
And having a good mood.
Yeah, I love that. That's perfect because I feel like that was one of the first things that got brought up when we first started reaching out to community was, hey, let's make sure people know that we're not saying that you just do this, it's going to fix everything, because obviously, hopefully no one thinks that, but can it be a good start? Yes, absolutely. I love that. So tell me a little bit about you. Like, I know you have some books and some videos and different things that you've put together. Tell me a little bit, like if someone was, hey, this doing this connections challenge is helping, but I do need some additional help. Where could they turn for some resources from you that could help?
Yeah, so I've written several books. A couple that people could get started with. They're online and are free in PDF form. Um, they could go to, and I don't know if you can flash these on the screen, but copingskills101.com.
I'll put it in the comments of the video.
Okay, so copingskills101.com. They could do a search for that. And the other one is ldsmentalhealth.net.
Okay, perfect. And those are free versions of your book in PDF version, right?
I have a secular book called How to Train an Elephant.
Okay.
And then a LDS gospel related book, and it's called The Gospel Toolkit.
The Gospel Toolkit. Perfect. So yeah, I actually can attest to some of those principles working really well on myself because my dad, who's friends with Russ, has always shared those whenever I call him and I'm upset. And Dad, you know, having a social worker dad, he has to listen to all of my woes, of course. And so and so when I call him, he always uses those tools from that How to Train an Elephant and the other book. And I've read parts of it and I really appreciate it. I think you'll all really like it. I can tell you that I feel like it's really easy to understand tools, really applicable tools, and they just help you, how do I say it? I don't know. Whenever I talk to Russ, I feel like he just takes things and just makes them make so much sense in like something that seems abstract, seems totally foreign to me. Russ can make it seem like, oh, okay, I can apply that and now I can make that change because maybe it's not easy, but at least now I understand it instead of it just feeling overwhelming. Russ can kind of put it in that. And I think I feel like that's what he does in those books. So that's really cool. Awesome. Yeah. So is there anything else about anything else psychologically that we didn't talk about that you would like to like point out? I have one other question I want to ask, but I wanted to make sure before we move past that point.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So one of my last questions is, do you have a favorite ancestor?
Oh, that's a great question. Favorite ancestor? Huh.
If it's too hard, you can also answer or maybe a favorite family history story that you've discovered.
Well, I can tell you a story that's pretty amazing. I'm doing some research on my grandfather's family. He had two brothers that came over from Russia with him, and they lived in Minsk, Russia. And apparently they had to escape from the country. Okay. And so they joined the army and paid someone off, and they smuggled them across the border. So that's how they all came to the United States. And they're all in their teens when they came.
Oh, my goodness. That is so cool.
Jewish by background, and Jews, had a lot of problems with the government, and especially in Russia.
And you were able to find that whole story.
Oh, my grandfather told me about it.
Your grandfather told you? Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Oh, I hope you've written that one down.
And they all lived in Long Island and stayed there. So doing the research, they all stayed in Suffolk County in Long Island.
Wow, that's incredible. That is awesome. I love that. I love the stories that come out when you start doing this. It's so cool. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share with everybody? Anything I missed?
One other thing, I use some of these tools for families where there's problems with pornography, and so I have a video series called The Next 12 Steps that's on YouTube. So that's pretty easy to find if you put in my name, Seigenberg, and The Next 12 Steps. It'll get you to my playlist, and so people can check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Russ is just this amazing wealth of really cool, really helpful, useful tools. So absolutely, if you have any needs for additional, if you even just want some additional helps, additional tools. I like the term, the toolkit, because to me it's like that is all it is. Sometimes when we get feeling anxious, depressed, some of those things, it's just having the right tools in your toolbox to be able to apply them and help yourself work through whatever those emotions are. And I love you made a really cool point one day about truths and how they affect your mood. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or
yeah, so when we're in negative moods, we're not looking at the situation accurately, and we can remember we want to get back to using truth. We can actually say, what's the truth? And then repeat it to ourselves a few times so it sinks in.
And to me, that's just like such a simple, like as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then I think through it, I'm like, oh, so like when I'm in that mode and I'm feeling anxious, okay, look at the truth. And yeah, to me, it's just like, oh, okay. So I feel like using those tools can help us work through them. And some of us that don't study this stuff just don't have the tools. So it's just a matter of discovering them. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
so much the work that you're doing. I appreciate so much that you're making it available. So thank you so much. And thanks for taking your time today to share that with us. We will let people ask you some questions in the comments and hopefully get them answered as well. And if you don't have anything else, I think I'm good.
Okay, great. Thanks, Olivia.
All right. And thanks
No
for all your
problem.
help with this project. It came together because of you. You made me feel like we could do it. So
All right.
good job.
That was about all I did. Olivia did the rest, but I'll take credit. Thank you.
That's not true. But thank you so much. All right. We'll sign off now. See you later.
Bye-bye.